Welcome to Community Service Spotlight. I'm your host, Bud Qualk, and we're here today with the Executive Director of Starfish Orphan Ministry. It's the best kept secret in Paducah, Kentucky. 60,000 square feet for a charitable organization is huge, and it's not just open space, it's packed to the gills. So we'll be visiting with her in just a minute, so stay tuned, we'll be right back. I'm here with Laura Roberts, the Executive Director of Starfish. Good morning.
Good morning.
Or afternoon, I guess. Let's talk about the name Starfish right off the bat. That's a kind of an unusual name. How did you come up with that?
So there's an old story about a man walking down the beach after a bad storm the night before. And there are all these starfish, thousands of starfish, laying on the beach, cooking in the sun. And he's walking along and he sees something in the distance, and when he gets up closer he realizes it's a child. So the child is doing something, and he gets up close and he says, "What are you doing?" And the child says, "Well, I'm picking up these starfish and throwing them back in the ocean so that they don't die." And the man looks around and he says, "Look how many there are. You can't possibly make a difference." And the boy picks up another one and he throws it in the ocean, and he looks at the man and he said, "I made a difference for that one."
Yes.
And we can't make a difference for every child in need in the world, but we can make a difference for some. And that's what we try to do at Starfish Orphan Ministry.
You want to make a bigger difference. You've got all this equipment and furniture and clothing and what have you, and you're not trying to fly under the radar. You would like for more people to know about it. Is that correct?
We want everyone to know about it. People that are in need and people that can help as well.
Yeah. Well, give us a little history of, you didn't start out with 60,000 square feet. I'm sure that would be a little bit unusual. So you started out smaller. Tell us the story about how it all happened.
Well, my husband and I adopted our son from Guatemala, and we went there thinking we were going to pick him up and it was going to be easy. And we'd never really thought about children in need much, in the world. I would see it on TV and change the channel, and because it was painful. And we, because of our trouble there, we went into an orphanage. And when we went in that orphanage, I was just broken, thinking of the children that had no one to respond when they had a bad dream in the middle of the night, and children that had no one to respond when they bumped their knee, or things that we would take for granted. So I was just completely broken, and felt led to do something about it. And it took a long time for us to finish our adoption, but I did not forget about it, and I really felt God was calling me to do something. And so in 2006, we started meeting and praying. Another lady and I started meeting and praying about orphan children in the world, and then we thought, well, if we are going to pray for them, we need to find out more about them. So we researched and found that, we were guessing that at that time there was probably like 10 million children without a complete family, and the Bible probably mentioned it, like we were guessing a dozen times. And when we researched, we found that the Bible mentioned it 60 times, and that there at that time were 147 million children without a complete family. So we were horrified and thought that we would just bring about awareness and everyone would jump to help. But we quickly found out that wasn't quite going to be how it was going to go down. So we found out that when people hear about that, they go, "Oh, that is really sad, but oh, that's too big a problem for me to make a difference."
Yeah.
Which ties back to the reason we named it Starfish Orphan Ministry, because we can make a difference for some. So we started out in an office on 28th Street, and it was 2,000 square feet, and I thought it was too big. And our prayer from the very beginning was that God would bless it in a way that it would be obvious that it was Him and not us. And again, I thought 2,000 square feet was too big. So that turned out not to be the case.
That's too big for a lot of charitable organizations.
Yeah, it seemed large at first, but it got small very quickly.
Before we go any further, let's do your contact information. We'll do it again at the end of the show. So if you don't catch it now, but get you a pencil, paper, and a pen, and we'll give it again at the end of the show. What's your telephone number, email, website?
Okay. The phone number at the office is 270-933-1250.
Okay.
And our address at the office is 1000 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky.
Well, that's easy to remember.
42001. It's the perfect, easy address.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, let's see, the email is Starfish Orphan Ministry at yahoo.com.
That's easy.
The website is starfishorphanministry.org.
There you go.
So it's all pretty simple.
Okay, well, we're going to get back to that at the end of the show, the last thing we do. Is Starfish not international or national, it's just local?
Our offices are local, and Paducah is the only place that Starfish has a home base, but we travel internationally. We take people on international mission trips to other countries to work in orphanages and work with children living on the streets.
So you go on trips?
We do.
Well, while we're talking about it, can you explain exactly why and where and how you do that? That sounds, I didn't even know about that, on top of the 60,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm. So most of our ministry is local, but we also take people on international mission trips. Sometimes it's random groups of people that want to come together and just want to go on a trip like that. And then sometimes it's actually school trips or particular churches, schools, different organizations. We are taking Paducah Tillman High School on a service learning trip. We leave next month, and I have 49 going.
Now, how do you afford that? How does that?
Well, the students or the travelers on the team pay their own travel expenses. And then the team comes together to raise money to meet needs on the trip. So Paducah Tillman is still raising money to build houses, and they're talking about building a community center, and we will visit orphanages, we'll work with people with special needs, we'll feed homeless people on the streets at night.
Oh my.
It's a very impactful trip. They'll learn a lot about the country and the culture, and they will learn a lot about children in need. And
well, say a group of people would like to be doing that. How does that? How do you get they call you and then?
They call us, and we can give them information on the different trips that we have planned at that time. Right now, we have trips planned to El Salvador, Brazil, and Colombia.
Holy cow!
This will be my 68th trip to El Salvador.
68th trip to El Salvador. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of trips.
It is.
I don't know how you found time to come down here to do this. Yeah. Well, you don't do this all by yourself, of course. Volunteers?
Starfish Orphan Ministry is an all-volunteer organization.
100%.
We have zero payroll. We get a grant, typically from a private foundation, that blesses us and helps us with our bare operating expenses, like our mortgage and utilities. And then we have zero payroll. So the combination of those two mean that when money comes in, it can all go directly to help children, which is really rare, again, for an organization of our size. that's a rare situation.
With 100% volunteers, you still have expenses. There's with property taxes, insurance, all that stuff that goes along with everything, plus the incidentals, I'm sure, so that covers all that. Well, that's huge too.
It is. It is. We have a very unique situation, and we're very blessed. And again, our prayer in the beginning was that God would bless it in a way that it was obvious that it was Him and not us, and that just keeps happening.
Well, talking about volunteers, say for instance I want to volunteer, how do I do that?
Again, you just come in, we have you fill out a paper, and then we'll put you to work.
No background check?
You have to sign saying that we can do a background check,
Okay.
yes. But we have lots of people that volunteer there, and I would say on an average each day we have about 15 volunteers per day.
But you have a lot more than 15. They rotate in and out. About how many do you think? Give me a guess. I know you.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
There are people that come and volunteer once, and there are people that come and volunteer every day. So it just varies. There have been thousands that have volunteered.
It's got to be with that big of an operation. And I took a quick tour, so I know a little bit. And there was like some people in every room. With all the different things you've got to do, and getting into that, how do you get all the stuff you've got? The furniture, you had a whole warehouse full of furniture, and you were making beds. We're going to get into that a little bit more later, but that seems like 15. I don't know. I think I saw more than 15, or else I maybe
It
saw.
may have been that day. But we have some people, I would say that's on a regular weekday.
Yeah.
We also have people that volunteer on weekends. We have men that come in and build beds on Thursday mornings.
Tell me about the beds. Yeah, I saw part of that.
Yes. We have usually between 12 and 1,500 requests a year for beds here locally. And
1,500.
yes, I would have never dreamed that we had that many people in need of beds in our community. But we get requests every day for beds. And some of it is children, and some of them are sleeping on the floor. Some of them are sleeping on the couch. Some of them are sleeping in bed with mom. Some of them have been sleeping in a car, and now they've got shelter. They're just starting out. Some of them come out of shelters.
So you've got a crew that all they do is build beds.
We do.
Okay.
We have a wonderful group of men who build beds for us weekly, and then sometimes we'll host events where people from the community can come build beds, or there's been the UK School of Engineering has brought a group. We have Girl Scouts, we have the Interact clubs from different high schools come. We've had teams out just from all different walks of life, all different ages, all different incomes. Anyone can build a bed. With the help of our gentlemen that do
Instructors.
it, anyone can build a bed.
Okay, and how many do you think give me a guess for how many a year or a month, or how many beds do you give out?
Yeah, we give out between 12 and 1,500 a year, but some of those are used beds that people have donated, and then some of them are beds. A lot of them are beds that we build.
That's amazing.
The ones that we build only go to children, and Happy Z's Sit and Sleep donates all of our mattresses for the children.
Brand new?
Yes, sir.
New mattresses.
They donate a new mattress for every child.
1,500 a year. That's just, it's just like I said when I walked in and you took me on, I was shocked. I was really shocked because I deal with a lot of charitable organizations. I've had almost all of them sitting in this chair, and we talked to them. It just shocked me how big and all this stuff you have. I call it stuff. It's not stuff, but it's everything. I don't know what the word would be, miscellaneous or whatever.
Everything you need for a household, really.
Yes. Can we talk about some of them? Now,
Sure.
Start at the lower floor. I think a lot
Okay.
of furniture and stuff down there.
Yes. So, so downstairs we have, it's actually an area where clients don't go, but it's a warehouse full of furniture and an area where the bed building is done. And then we have one large room where we do special event things like where we set up for Christmas and things like that for Christmas giveaway.
Christmas, yeah.
That's a big deal at Starfish.
And that's when I was shocked. When I came, I donated some stuff, and I thought, well, this will be big. I'll take these 4 or 5 things I've got up there, and they were so excited to get 4 or 5.
We
And
were.
then I was shocked. And you were doing it for Christmas, and I saw all these big 10-foot Christmas trees and all decorated, and oh my gosh, look at all the Christmas trees. But you set me straight. How many Christmas trees do you usually give away on Christmas?
About 60 to 70 a year.
Christmas trees.
Yes,
These
people
are
donate
big-
Christmas
big
trees
nice.
throughout the year. Anyone that cleans out their attic and wants to get rid of their Christmas tree, they can bring it to our back dock and leave it, and we will take that tree, and at Christmas time, we will have a group of people come in and decorate that tree from top to bottom with everything a family would need for it. And then a family can come in, and if they come in and ask for a tree at Christmas time, there are 2 stipulations. They have to have children in the home, and they have to have not ever gotten a tree with us before, because we want them to take care of it and keep it, and we want to have as many as we can to help as many people as possible.
Don't make them disposable.
Right.
Yes, I've got every tree I've ever had in my life in my attic.
Yes, some people do,
Yes, yes.
but we would take all of them.
Okay, and I think I might be bringing 1 or 2 down. They're not as big as the ones I saw, though.
Well, we have all sizes. You may have been there on a day when we just happened to have ran out of the smaller ones, but
Yeah.
but usually we have all sizes, and again, we decorate them from head to toe so that we know that whoever gets them will have everything they need to set it up and feel like a family Christmas tree.
Well, since we're talking about Christmas, we'll get back to the other rooms in your building later. But let's talk about Christmas, because that's one of your biggest days of the year.
It is. Biggest months of the year.
Yeah.
Actually, it takes us months to plan Christmas and carry it out, but it is a big deal for us, yes.
I saw the toys and kid stuff, and that's mainly probably what you give away at Christmas, right, for the children?
We serve about 600 to 700 children at Christmas time with gifts. They usually get 3 to 4 gifts apiece, and then we also do sometimes, if we have the things, we also do like stocking stuffers as well.
Yeah.
People start signing up in November, and they can sign up all the way through most of December.
Okay.
And then we provide Christmas presents for those children. Yeah, they have to provide their ID, their children's birth certificates or custody papers, something showing where they live. But once they do all that, then we help the children
Okay.
at Christmas.
Well, let's talk about the I guess more of the rooms upstairs, all the clothing, and you have stuff for men, women, and children. What else do you supply?
We do. If you go upstairs in our building, people come into the lobby and then they walk up the steps, and they come into our very nice big area, and they fill out paperwork, and then someone in the office calls them in and greets them, and we intake their paperwork, and we use a system called Charity Tracker to help us organize that paperwork, and it's a database that we share with other nonprofits.
I remember when that got started. That's good. Yeah.
And then after they fill out the paperwork, someone in the office prays with them, and then finds out how we can help them, and then directs them to whatever room in the building, or however we can help best. So that may be lining up how we can help them with furniture, which they can either come and pick up or we can deliver to them. Then they can go into the first room is well, we have an area where we allow everyone to come and shop. So homeless people, people with any needs can come and shop in one specific area where we have things that we have an abundance of. So they can shop, anyone can shop there. And then we have a baby room, and it has clothes for 0 to 24 months, and it also has all kinds of baby items. Anything you could almost possibly need for a baby, we probably have. Then you can go into the clothing room, and the clothing room is for 2T and up. So there are children's clothes and shoes, and we have underwear. We have everything a child could need. And then we have women's clothes, lots of women's clothes. And it's set up much like a store so that people feel like they're shopping in a boutique, and everything is given away free. Then we have a men's room as well. We are always in need of men's clothes, children's clothes, always men's jeans and shoes, things like that. And then we have a warehouse upstairs. We have a linen room. We have housewares. We have a t-shirt room and a diaper room and a
Kitchen stuff.
toiletries. Yes, we have lots of kitchen things and lamps and even pictures to hang on the wall to make it feel like a home.
How do I donate if I want to bring stuff? How do I do it? Do I bring it up those stairs in the front or around the back? Or?
No, if you're there between 10 and 2, Monday through Thursday, you can just bring it to the back loading dock, and someone should be there to help you, to help you unload it and bring it inside. Now, if it's outside of those hours, you can leave it on the loading dock, but sometimes we have people get into that, so it's better to bring it during the week. But you can also call the 270-933-1250 and make arrangements for someone to even come and pick it up. We usually only pick up furniture, though. We don't drive, we don't, because we are all volunteer, it's hard to get drivers to go and pick up things, but they will, and we appreciate them so much. And that's usually done on Saturday mornings.
Okay. And if I wanted to donate cash, do you ever?
Sure.
How do we do that?
Well, you can bring it by, or you can mail it to 1000 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky, 42001, or you can go online on our website, and there's a button where you can donate, with a credit card.
And we talked about the volunteers, just get in touch with you with a phone number or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or just come in Monday through Thursday, 10 to 2.
Or just come in and go to work. Can do that?
Yes. Again, you have to fill out an application, but yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's ladies in the office. Do you have office workers?
We do. We have different office workers every day. There are women that work in the office that are there only on Mondays, only on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Yes. So if I have, not secretarial, but if I have administrative skills, you'd love for somebody to come in and do that kind of thing. Or if maybe you have somebody with finance skills. Yes. Or maybe just big burly guys that you need, because you've got a lot of stuff that's like down in the furniture. The furniture you have is better than what I have in my house. Some of it wasn't, but the rest of it was. And then there were a lot of maybe antique stuff. I just was shocked and shocked and shocked from one room to the next. Is there anything that you really don't need? Please don't bring us any of this.
Big people books.
Books?
And stuffed animals. We get a lot of those.
Brand new stuffed animals. Yeah, okay. I was going to say used stuffed animals are really not.
We have a lot of them, yes. We're just inundated right now.
Okay.
With stuffed animals. But those are the two things that we have trouble finding homes for enough.
Yes. Well, I didn't see anything that you don't have. Like you said, all the different rooms are all set up with toys. in one room, and all the women and the men, and I even saw a gentleman that came in that was eligible for a jacket. And he was like me. You had like, I don't know how many 100 jackets, and he was trying them on, and he was so happy because all this stuff was almost like brand new, or some of it was brand new.
Yes.
I mean, so slightly used.
Some of it.
Slightly used. But
Slightly
yeah,
used or new.
I could just see his face and how excited he was. It's just like going to the Dillards or something and going down the line. Yeah. Well, we're almost out of time. Before we forget it, let's get all your contact information again, okay?
Yes, sir. It is Starfish Orphan Ministry at yahoo.com, starfishorphanministry.org for our website. The phone number is 270-933-1250.
Okay.
And the address is 1000 Broadway,
Easy.
Paducah, Kentucky, 42001.
Be ready for those steps in front.
We do have a lot of steps. If you absolutely cannot get up the steps, we do have a freight elevator in the back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they would just call and say, I'm here and I can't make it up the steps.
Okay. Okay, well, Laura, I'm so glad you had time to come down here and visit with us and hopefully expose this best kept secret. Okay.
It is.
I want to thank our viewers for staying tuned, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you can do something. This is Community Service Spotlight. I'm your host, Bud Qualk, and we'll see you next time.